What's up guys, we're back with a brand new video. Today's video, I'll be talking a bit about what's next for St Kilda. Now, this is technically writing St Kilda off for the finals, but they can still easily make the finals from the position they are. I think they're like 4 and 6, which is not, the worst. And they have some easy games coming up, so they could easily still make the finals. But I'm kind of seeing that they're in a bit of a difficult position with their list. So I'm going to talk about what I reckon they should do next. Just a little background on my history with St Kilda. I actually am a fan of St Kilda on this channel if you guys haven't come across that yet. So I was talking about what I think they should do. Now, I'm no expert, so this is just what I'm throwing out there. You guys can give your opinions down below. And also, if you want me to do this for a different team or different type of videos like this, I'm happy to do that. So let's get straight into it. So I reckon Saints should go back to the draft. They're lacking the pure young talent and rely heavily on mature age players that they have brought in from other clubs. I'm not sure, I'm not saying do a full-on rebuild, but kind of like what Melbourne did in 2019 when he got the Cozzy Pickett's, the Trent Rivers, Luke Jackson, or what Port Adelaide did in the 2018 draft when they bring in Zach Butters, Connor Rosie, and Xavier Dersma. Now, it's very hard to get that good of young talent through one draft that easily, so it is kind of a risky move, but I feel like it's a move that they need to make, and at least they take a risk, because right now they do not have a premiership list. They missed the finals for a year, and they push back up the ladder next year if that's what they want to do.
What about that from the Saints?
Now, I'm going to go through a few list changes they could do and what approach they could take to the trade period. So I think they should delist, or maybe these players retire. And these players are Jake Carlisle, Jaron Geary, James Frawley, Dean Kent, Sean McKernan, Mason Wood, Daniel McKenzie, Dara Joyce, and Paul Hunter. I feel like they're both probably past the AFL level, or probably not just good enough. Now, a few of these players probably, could sign on. Like, we haven't seen much of Dean Kent this season, and he was all right when he played. Maybe you could trade him out, or just just let him go on free agency if he's out of contract or something, and let him see if he can go to another club. But Dean Kent, I feel like should get delisted out of this group. But the rest, Carlisle, he just had people saying career-ending back surgery. Jaron Geary, he's the captain. He's probably going to pass it over to Jack Steele full-on next year. He's a bit old. James Frawley really old. Sean McKernan looks a bit past AFL level. Daniel McKenzie does not look like an AFL standard footballer. Same with Dara Joyce and Paul Hunter. Mason Wood, he's alright. You could probably give him another go. He's playing pretty good footy in the twos, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, these are the players I reckon they should trade or let go in free agency. Now, these could be a bit controversial, judging that it's a big move for these, but Seb Ross, Luke Dunstan, Jack Loney, and Jack Billings are the guys I'm looking on the list. I reckon they still have a bit of trade value in them, and you could probably get a lot out of them. Now, Seb Ross, they should let Seb Ross and Jack Billings go in a trade for a first-round pick if possible, or trade for a young interstate player that wants to return to Victoria. That's how I reckon they could take an approach to them. But then they could let both Jack Loney and Luke Dunstan go for a possible second or third round pick, or for some young talent in the trade period. And this is really important here about the free agency, or the trade period in general. Only go for a non-injury prone free agent or trade target if they're 25 or younger. There's no point bringing a 29-year-old that has barely played, cough cough, Dan Hanbury. So they need to go for a young player. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head, but if anyone that kind of fits this age bracket could be, this bracket, I know he's a bit injury prone, and I don't know how old he is actually, but in Josh Kelly, that could be a good pickup for the Saints. He kind of fits their direction they're going. And Ben King's the obvious one. Now, he's out of contract in 2022 off season. But if Gold Coast actually want to get something out of him, they probably could make a trade for him now. And I feel like St Kilda are in the box seat to get him in with the King twins. That'll be absolutely amazing to see. Now, let's have a look at the draft situation. They should try and get multiple first round picks and possible in the top 10. Now that's how you take the approach of the Demons and the Power. That's kind of what they went for. And this is an idea I'm putting out to St Kilda. They should try to go after Collingwood's first round pick. Now, when it looks at how they're playing, they probably should get a bottom four, first round pick. So they'll probably get the fourth pick, the fifth pick in the draft this year. So you trade for that. You trade up and try to get that pick. Now, all Collingwood will probably want from that is a future first round pick, and the St Kilda probably won't be near the finals race. So it'll be pretty. Collingwood might think we'll take the risk with a future first round pick, and then since they want to get something to bid for the Daicos, the Nick Daicos coming to this draft, then you can give them a few late seconds or thirds to try to entice them to actually hand over their pick 4 or 5, and then you have your pick. They'll probably be in the top 10. Collingwood's pick, and then you could a pick from possibly Seb Ross or Jack Billings, and that kind of sets up the whole draft, and then you get some exciting young talent to the door, and then you can fly back up the ladder.
What about that from the Saints?
Now, after the off-season, this is what the players will look if all the delistings and trades actually do happen. So they will have 16 players 24 and younger, and this list of players is Nick Coffield, Jay Gresham, Hunter Clark, Max King, Dan Butler, Ben Long, Jack Higgins, Jack Bytel, Josh Battle, Matthew Ellison, Ryan Burns, Ben Patton, Tom Highmore, Leo Conley, Oscar Clavio, and Sam Alabaskis. Now that's some exciting young talent, and they have a lot of 16 players under the age of 24 is a great list, or 24 and under I should say. Now we'll look at the mid-range players. We got between the ages of 25 and 29, and there is 10 players in between that bracket, and that would be Zach Jones, Brad Crouch, Brad Hill, Jack Steele, Ron Marshall, Dougal Howard, Tim Membry, Jimmy Webster, Jack Sinclair, and Callum Wilkie. Now they're all players that are kind of in the best 22 right now, so that's a good kind of list of players. And we got 2 players that will get kept on the list that are above the age of 30 or 30 plus, which is Dan Hanbury and Patty Ryder, that both bring the leadership that you can bring to the table.
What about that from the Saints?
The season's not over yet for St Kilda, but if they do want to make a push for finals, most likely be in the 8th position, and then they can get knocked out pretty early on in the finals race, and probably won't even make it past the elimination final by the way they're playing. If I was in Brett Ratton's position, I would play the kids and debut players like Matthew Ellison, Leo Conley, Oscar Clavio, and Sam Alabaskis to see how their development is going. Now, Saints fans, even though the finals operations, the top 4 aspirations, has not happened with this list of players that you're probably hoping for at the start of the season, look at the positives, because the St Kilda list, if they execute this right, could be much better than the 2020 finals push that they made. And instead of making it just past the elimination final, they could be playing prelims and the grand finals if they execute this right. But I'm not saying the Skuru players are over yet, but the way they're playing, it seems to be an end of this era for St Kilda. But, in a couple of years they'll bounce back and they'll be firmly in finals contentions and grand finals like they were expected to be doing this year. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to drop a like and a subscribe, and thanks for watching.